Today, we discuss how incompetent Cory Booker and the Democrats are, why they failed, and I give you an update on the Kavanaugh case. I am Bob Nettleton, and I am going to save America. I just want to dive right in here, probably because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. So Cory Booker, who might just be the most incompetent person in the entire U.S. Senate, yet again shows us just how empty and lost the Democrats are when it comes to the case against Kavanaugh. Well, if you listen to my previous podcast, you probably realized that of all the predictions I made for the Democrats and their agenda and the way they're going to push their agenda and what they're going to do next, you probably realized that every single prediction that I had was correct. And they ended up proving me right about everything. So go me, I guess. But they're easy to predict. I mean, you know how they're going to react and how they're going to push things, because their playbook is extremely limited and it's very simple. To understand their playbook or know what they're going to do next, all you got to do is just assume the worst, most impractical, illogical solution. And boom, you have the entire Democratic playbook right in front of your eyes. So I'm going to show you guys a video here of just how easy it is to see that the Democrats will never be pleased, as well just of how easy and blatantly obvious their agenda is here, regardless of how hypocritical they might sound or look or how stupid they would look. I'm going to show you a black and white picture of just how obvious the Democratic agenda is to delay the Kavanaugh hearing. So this is Chris Coons, Democratic Senator of Delaware. Check this out. So just a little context here, just so you guys know what this video is. This is a video of Chris Coons questioning Kavanaugh prior to the FBI investigation. Check this out.
With that in mind.
Put yourself in our shoes for a moment, if you would, Judge, and I know that's asking a lot of you in this setting.
That is asking a lot of you, because Kavanaugh isn't an evil human.
But suppose you'd gone through a process to select someone for an incredibly important job and a position. You had a lot of qualified candidates, and as you're finishing the hiring process, you learn of a credible allegation that, if true, would be disqualifying.
It wasn't true.
Wouldn't you either take a step back and conduct a thorough investigation or move to a different candidate? And
that'd be pretty convenient, wouldn't it?
Why not agree to a 1-week pause to allow the FBI to investigate all these allegations and allow you an opportunity a week from now to have the folks present in front of us for us to assess their credibility and for us to either clear your name or resolve these allegations by moving to a different nominee?
Yes, Kavanaugh. Why aren't you the one screaming, "Investigate me, I am innocent"? I mean, do Democrats not care about due process? Are you just guilty until proven innocent? I mean, it amazes me. Who in the right mind or who in history has ever said, investigate me, I'm innocent"? It's amazing. But if you want to forget the previous 6 investigations, Mr. Coons, we'll just go ahead, because you probably already have.
All 4 witnesses who were alleged to be at the event said it didn't happen, including Dr. Ford's longtime friend, Ms. Kaiser, who said that she didn't know me and that she does not recall ever being at a party with me, with or without Dr. Ford.
What I've
Thank you. And if Chris Coons wasn't enough to persuade you, here's a list of other senators who were right behind him when he said that the FBI investigation would only take a week to figure things out. Enjoy this. Check this out, guys. This is great.
This is why all the Democrats on the Judiciary Committee have been totally consistent in asking for an FBI investigation. But even if it's 7 days, that's bad enough. But then to limit the FBI as to the scope and who they're going to question, I wanted to use the word farce.
There should be an FBI investigation. We called for an FBI investigation earlier today. This investigation is a scam. It's a sham, and it's a con job.
1 week is what Senator Flake was interested in, and you can do a lot if you have the whole FBI looking at things in 1 week.
I don't think people should be micromanaging the FBI investigation.
She is entitled to
the respect of at least a thorough, fair investigation. So far, an FBI investigation has been blocked by the White House. I believe that Jeff Flake truly wants a real investigation, not a check-the-box sham, and that's what the FBI ought to be doing. Difficult, though, because, as you said very well, this deadline is tight and arbitrary.
Let the FBI, let the professionals who have no partisan interest in this either way, let them talk to the various witnesses. I think it'd be a big mistake to put handcuffs on the FBI, if you excuse the analogy.
And here is my favorite example, probably the most prominent example of just how lost the Democrats are. I mean, Cory Booker literally does things for me, for us, step by step to lay out their agenda. So if he doesn't win most incompetent senator of the year, I'm sorry, but he deserves it. Go ahead and check this out. This is probably my favorite video.
So my hope is that just beyond the vicious partisan rancor that is going on, beyond the accusations, we don't lose sight of what this moral moment is about in this country.
Moral moment. If anybody knows anything about Cory Booker, the man who openly admitted to groping a woman is trying to make a moral argument. This is awesome.
And ultimately ask ourselves the question, is this the right person to sit on the highest court in the land for a lifetime appointment?
Yes, yes, and more of yes. All of yes. All the yeses.
When their credibility has been challenged by
you and only you.
Intimates, people that knew the candidate well as a...
Everyone who knew the candidate well sided on the side of Kavanaugh. He obviously forgot that.
Classmate. When his temperament has been revealed in an emotional moment where he used language that frankly shocked a lot of us. And then ultimately, not whether he's innocent or guilty, this is not a...
The language thing, right? It shocked you. Well, I would be surprised or shocked if anybody who has worked their entire lives for something to be called a gang rapist and attempted to be charged for a sexual assault accusation for which isn't true and not be mad. I mean, his family has received death threats. Just their agenda. Thank you, Cory Booker.
Trial, but ultimately, has enough questions be raised?
By you. The questions were raised by you.
That we should not move on to another candidate.
Would that not be convenient? You just told us exactly what you've been wanting for the last 3 weeks, and it comes out. Thank you, Cory Booker, for unleashing the entire Democratic playbook for us. I appreciate you very much, good sir. So as you all saw, the narrative is changing, right? The allegations that they once thought they had something on have entirely crumbled. And it's gone to questioning the man's temperament after you accuse him of rape. I mean, it is the cleanest man in the history of judicial court nominees. I mean, he has more documents than the last 5 combined. I mean, this dude is literally the guy that begs the teacher for homework and wears socks on the beach. I mean, come on. But it's leftist politics 101. I mean, going from arguing that drinking is equivalent to rape, I mean, that's the argument they're pushing now, is that he drank in college, so therefore he is a rapist. He is a young man who drank in college, therefore he is a rapist and a gang rapist. It's just fear tactics. I mean, that's all the left ever does. It's just, once they fail statistically, empirically, it doesn't matter. They just go to fear tactics and trying to silence the other side by trying to provide a moral argument, which they have no bounds on arguing. And I give it to the Democrats. They are smart, not when it comes to the intellectual arguments, but in the political game, because they realize that there is a slight gap right now in the voting and thoughts on Kavanaugh in regards to gender. And they know they want to keep it that way. They want to keep as many people on their side as they can, and they're really trying to play to that narrative. So again, there's no evidence at all. They've shifted their argument now to, if you are a young man and you drink in college and you are around women, you are a rapist by default. That is the agenda that they are pushing, and it's sad. And this is the danger of sensationalism, mainly because people are going to assume the worst, because they're not going to take the time to put two and two together to actually dig deeper and find out the truth. They're just going to see a headline, and whether they don't care about it, they don't want to care about it, or they just want to regurgitate what they think is popular, cool, and or good or morally right, regardless of the truth, they're just going to believe what they want because they don't care. But here's some proof. This is a video from the ACLU. Just watch this. It's terrible.
We've seen this before. Denials from powerful men.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I've never seen anything like this.
I categorically and unequivocally deny the allegation against me by Dr. Ford.
America is watching. And as we choose a lifetime seat on our highest court, integrity matters. And
integrity does matter. If you know anything about the word integrity, Mr. Kavanaugh would be the one to uphold the Constitution. He's literally defend the Constitution how it's written, not rewrite it like the progressives want. And that's what they want. So the word integrity is just terribly misused here. It is just absolutely ridiculously used there. And comparing, this is the danger in this logic. Comparing Kavanaugh, who was accused of a sexual crime, to two animals, two terrible, evil human beings who actually raped and sexually assaulted women just by guilty of association. That's your logic. That's your argument. I would hope that anyone who has a rational thinking mind can see how dangerous this rhetoric is, how divisive this rhetoric is. Open your eyes. It's this simple, truly. How desperate can you be that you have to just spread diabolic, illogical rhetoric? And it's amazing that people actually think this way. And then it doesn't matter how untrue it is, it's just their agenda, and that's all they care about. But they don't care about how empty the argument is. All they want to do is delay it in any means possible. That's all they want. Yet people are going to believe it, cheer it, support it, because in their mind, all men are evil, especially if there's zero evidence to prove it. What is happening to Kavanaugh is actually, it's ruining it for real survivors. And I'm not talking about Ford, but just like Ramirez and Swetnick and the fourth anonymous allegation that came out of the clouds, that have all been shot down, by the way, and reported as found out to be complete farce, but they were reported as truth by the media anyway, because they're on the exact same team, and it's all just an attempt to delay the vote. But it's the side note, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but if you have any common sense at all, I would hope that it's pretty easy to understand. These people that are posting, believe all women, believe all accusers, I hope you realize how dangerous this rhetoric is, especially for those who actually have been assaulted. An allegation does not mean that it happened. It is an accusation. If I accuse you of something and you're automatically guilty by default, can you imagine throwing away the system that we built? Guilty until proven innocent? Does it not make any sense here? The kids are literally being taught this in schools, and I'm not crazy for saying this. Here's a clip from Steven Crowder. He's at Christian University doing a Change My Mind segment. If you haven't seen it yet, basically he goes and picks a controversial topic, goes to universities, and talks about certain topics and gets someone to try and challenge him and attempt to change his mind. The idea is that he goes in with an open mind, and then if you can change his mind with rhetoric, data, and evidence, that you can do it. But again, it just shows how the left is being taught, or how the left pushes their arguments, because they do not go off statistical, empirical data. The things actually happen, the facts. They go off of feelings and propaganda that they have been taught in their schools. Check this out.
I'm saying we shouldn't, right after these allegations came out. So I was kind of in the middle. I didn't know, there wasn't a lot of evidence for her or for him. It wasn't looking great for him, though. And a lot of people, no evidence. There is some evidence. There's a lot of Republicans just jump to, oh no, this is nothing, she's lying. But
That didn't happen. The Republicans did not dismiss this as nothing. To say so is a lie. Rape and sexual assault is a very, very serious claim. When we found out about it, which, if you remember, the Democrats held on to this accusation for 2 months, on the eve of the vote, they released it. To think that we tried to push it under the table and just discard it, this is what these kids are being taught in these universities, literally being brainwashed by propaganda.
Without knowing anything, so why are her claims automatically invalidated? Like, it's the same on the flip side. No, Republicans the day after said this is trash. Claims need to be validated. I know, but
outlandish claims need to be validated.
But no one really wanted to look into them, even when they came out.
No one really wanted to look into them. Are you kidding me? Amazing stuff, but there's a prime example. And he had several others in this video. If you guys want to go check it out, it was awesome. Very, very informative. Give him a look. So just an update on the vote. It appears that Senator Mitch McConnell has moved that the vote is either going to be Friday, late Friday, or early Saturday morning. Regardless of what the FBI found, spoiler alert, was nothing. They're still going to vote no. Some of them will. Some might not. But they were able to, they were able to read the report last night, and they basically found nothing. And I'm hoping that the Republicans, two Republicans, Collins and Flake, make up their mind and don't fall for the second trap that the Democrats laid out, which is, again, just trying to delay the tactic even more by saying that the investigation, even though they requested a week, wasn't long enough, and they said that the investigation should only focus on this, and it did. But they're never going to be pleased, and I hope that's obvious. But anyway, hopefully, once Kavanaugh gets pushed through and confirmed the vote happens on Saturday, we're going to see the dirtiest trick plays out of the Democratic playbook, and I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be fun. But there is something I do want to admit, though. I just want to thank the Democrats for exposing their divisive and dirty, or showing how divisive and dirty leftism ideology is. And they made it really obvious for us. I mean, if it wasn't then, it is now. And I hope you guys see that. And it really ended up motivating the conservative base. So thank you, Democrats, for showing how hypocritical and evil true leftism is. This isn't a hit on liberals. I'll explain the difference between liberals and leftists later. But as a majority of the Democratic Party right now is been hijacked by extreme leftists, and I hope that this shows in November just how important due process of law is to many voters. The good news is there might even be 3 to 4 Democratic senators that might vote yes to confirm Kavanaugh. We don't know that, but in a lot of key races, Senate races coming up in November, there's I think there's 3 or 4 Democratic seats that their constituency is very, very dependent upon, insisting upon voting and confirming Kavanaugh, and these Democratic seats are dependent upon it. So it's going to kind of be cool to see how that comes out. We don't know how it's going to come out, because I think Chuck Schumer might crack the whip on these guys. But just to see if they're going to vote on party lines or not, it's going to be pretty interesting. But I have a message to the Republicans, and not the senators, but people who are listening. There's a time to be civil and a time to be nice, which is all the time. But you also need to be able to stand your ground. We need to stop entertaining and supporting those who oppose due process of law and logic and good rhetoric. It is time to put an end to evil politics. Anyway, here's favorite part of the podcast right here, my personal favorite, the SJW Trigger event. This clip comes from Ben Shapiro. One of my absolute favorite people to listen to. He's an intellectual powerhouse. Here he's talking in a university about abortion issues and trans issues. His opinions aren't mine, but I just thought it was a funny video and I want to show you guys. Check this out, guys.
Say that some people don't have privilege when you basically just said that trans people aren't valid. They're not a thing. They're just girls pretending to be boys or boys pretending to be girls.
Okay. Oh, someone's excited. Okay.
It's biological, but gender is a completely different thing.
No, gender is not disconnected from sex. So.
It's not completely disconnected, but it's still a cultural thing. It's still from society.
Okay. No, it is not in the mind. Okay, you're not a man if you think you're a man. And I didn't say pretending, or if I did, I shouldn't have said pretending. Let me amend.
You said playing.
Okay, I said a boy who thinks he's a girl. That's the usual phraseology I use. Not playing. I usually say a boy who thinks he's a girl or a girl who thinks he's a boy, which is technically what we're talking about here. The idea that sex or gender are malleable is not true. Okay, and I'm not denying your humanity if you're a transgender person. I am saying that you are not the sex to which you claim to be. But if you are going to dictate to me that I'm supposed to pretend that men are women and women are men, no. My answer is no. I'm not going to modify basic biology because it threatens your subjective sense of what you are.
Okay, but you're still saying these kids should not be accepted because they don't really fit in either place. They can't just
I'm saying that the Boy Scouts have a standard. You must be a biological boy to be a Boy Scout. You have to be a boy to be a Boy Scout.
Where's that written though? Okay.
In the name Boy Scouts. Because this is a very because for all of human history, boy meant boy and girl meant girl.
Have you talked to a group of trans people at all instead of this group of white people?
I'm more than happy to talk to a group of any people who will have me, but usually they protest me.
Okay, last question about your Planned Parenthood thing. So why do you think it's not about controlling women's bodies and just about the separate life? After the baby is born, how come more people don't care about them? They don't care where they end up in foster care. They don't care about the mother being poor.
Okay, I do care about the mother being poor. I do care about foster care.
Okay, but why don't you advocate for that, though? Because Planned Parenthood is supposed to prevent abortions.
Because, Planned Parenthood doesn't prevent abortions. They perform hundreds of thousands of abortions a year. They perform 300,000 abortions a year. They're the leading abortion mill in the United States.
Evidence for that, though?
That they perform 300,000 abortions a year from Planned Parenthood. That's my evidence. They don't dispute that. No one disputes that.
Birth control and cancer.
I'm not anti-birth control.
I know.
Birth control is extraordinarily cheap.
That provides affordable birth control, which would in turn.
Okay, they're not the only people in America who provide affordable birth control. You can go get a pack of condoms down at the local CVS for $12.
Condoms break, people need medication too.
Yes, and it's true that most forms of birth control are also extraordinarily cheap on an annualized basis, unless you have a severe problem. And I'm not against people going and getting that from Planned Parenthood. As you may have noticed, I'm mostly against abortion. If you want to go to Planned Parenthood and get a contraceptive, go for it. I don't care. I do care when you start killing babies. This is a problem for me.
What you say?
Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, especially if you made it this far. Proud of you. Just a little preview what's to come next week. We're actually going to be starting the second portion of the podcast, so not the one that you guys have to listen to me go on a boring rant about politically, but the side of the podcast that tells and shares the stories of people and their political journey, their political ideology, feelings, concerns, thoughts on issues, and talking about topics that they want to know about and or debate about, whatever it may be. They get a pick. I don't get to. But that starts, I think Monday we're going to do it, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. It's going to be with my girlfriend, Ali Gatto. The topic is going to be why she left the left. And I think it's going to be a really, really important topic, especially for those who are listening right now that did make it to the end. Thank you. That might be in the same boat that she was. It's amazing to me, her entire journey, because she was someone who completely flip-flopped once she realized what was going on, and she was able to unchain herself from the dangers of the leftist ideology. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It's officially going to go on YouTube today. So if you did like it, share it on Facebook, like it, whatever. But again, look for Monday night, if not maybe Wednesday night. It'll be on Facebook Live, and we'll also be uploading it to YouTube if you don't make it. But thanks you guys all for coming out. Appreciate it. Have a good day.